click on video. You're going to see my kitchen in the background. I don't know how to figure out how to do the filters. All right. I appreciate everybody joining us for our AMA with our great new partners, FlappyDoge. This is going to be a great long-term partnership, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to this discussion and everyone learning a little bit more. And hopefully you all feel comfortable investing in FlappyDoge token after this AMA is over. I'll kick it off with having the team give an overview of what FlappyDoge is about. And after that, we'll go into some questions.
Awesome.
So
awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for having us. I know we've been talking about this partnership for a little while now, so it's good to get this thing officially launched and kicked off. And I think it'll be beneficial for both teams. And you guys bring a lot of stability, from your side. And I think we've got a pretty good product. So hopefully it'll be a good add-on for you guys. From FlappyDoge, a little bit about our team. So we've got a team of about 20 team members that we all met through a whale group. So we were all invested in a large project over the summer, and we all kind of met and became pretty close through that group. We've got some pretty good experience between all of us on different projects, and this was an idea that one of us had that we all thought we could get behind, and so that's kind of what our background is. So we're taking a lot of the experience we've got between all the different team members from marketing and strategy and previous launches and development and that kind of stuff, and combining it into the team. So that's kind of the background on our team. We've got a lot of good experience in leveraging that for sure. So FlappyDoge, it's a play to earn game. We're partnered with Narsun Studios for the development. They're one of the leading game developers, and they use the Unreal Engine. So a lot of the graphics are pretty much 3D. They look really realistic. So it's not just one of these cheap little games you see that pop up every now and then. It's going to have some pretty incredible graphics, and we've got a nice demo out there. Well, it's not really a demo, but it's more of a promotional video that shows the extent of what they can do from a design perspective. So we're leveraging that group for the development. We've got our team from the funding and all the fundraising we've done, just from private fundraising. We launched on Pink Sale back, I think it was in like mid-November, late November. So it's been a good launch so far. We've got a healthy war chest still within our coffers, and we've already paid for the game development and everything. So the rest of it is just marketing and partnerships. So you guys being one of the important partners. So I'll stop there and see if you had any questions, or if Xander wanted to add anything in.
Yeah, no, I think you covered it really well. Xander, I'm kind of acting CMO, and one of the things that we have really tried to do is make sure that every step of the way we were transparent, communicating, and trying to make sure that people understand kind of one of the core aspects to me of crypto, and that what we think is going to be one of the first steps in transitioning the world into this ability to communicate and interact with each other. And it's a very simple one for us, which is that we all grew up playing games, and think of our ability to jump into a game and live it and make it a part of ourselves as something very natural to a huge generation of people. And even something as simple as a small game played on your mobile phone is incredibly entertaining, and it's easy to get into it. And for us, we think that that's a great way to step into the crypto universe, and by making FlappyDoge into a game and then growing that into a lot of things in the future, and making it interchangeable with other games through our partnerships, we really have some high expectations of what we can deliver as a product. So that's kind of the ethos behind what we're doing.
Wonderful. That sounds great. I'm looking forward to. I need to, now that I'm settled into the new house, I can start getting more into the projects, more in depth in the projects, and I'm looking forward to playing a little bit more. And
Yeah.
I need to definitely invest a little bit more money into FlappyDoge as well. Sounds
Yeah.
good so far.
Yeah, and we actually just launched a promo. So now's the perfect time. So anybody that buys FlappyDoge in the next, I think it's 48 to 72 hours, we're doing a airdrop promotion. So a lot of that, is shared, I think, on your site and on ours. So yeah, now's a great time for you guys to get in for sure. We've got some bonuses we're paying out, and then there's a little competition along the lines of that. So from the largest purchases and that kind of stuff. So
that sounds good. We could perhaps maybe even throw a DST bonus to anyone who purchases their Flappy through DogeSwap as well.
Yeah.
We can discuss a little bit after. Michael probably have some good ideas for that.
Yep. Yeah, we've got a Google form. So when people purchase, they just put their transaction hash within the form, and then that gives us obviously their wallet, the amount they purchased, and we'll be able to run the airdrops that way. So if we want to combine it with a DST drop, that's perfectly fine.
Sounds good. All right. We'll discuss that a little bit more, and we can maybe announce that within the next hour or so after the AMA ends.
Yeah.
So, the next question is a two-parter. When and how did you get started in crypto, and what made you decide to launch your own token?
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'll take a first stab at it, and then Xander, I'll let you kind of add your flavor to it. And I generally blame Xander for getting me into crypto probably about 9 to 10 months ago. Been promoting it for a long time, but I just I was too traditional when it came to finance and holding my own money, and once it finally clicked for me, it made total sense. My background's in technology and finance in general, so when I realized the power of what you could do with crypto, it just was that light bulb moment that probably most of us have had, that this is the future, this is the way things are going. And we leveraged that thought process with kind of the decentralized finance aspect of crypto to launch Flappy. So it's like you can do a pre-sale, you can raise 150 grand, 350, whatever you want to raise, you can raise if you have a good product. And that's just so amazing. You can't do that in the real world with banks or with, maybe you could get private equity or something, but it's something that's super powerful, the decentralized way to raise money. So that's kind of the background from my side. And like I said, I blame Xander. So you can speak for yourself, Xander, on that side of things.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it's chicken or egg with Joe and I, because I mean we've been friends for literally more than probably you guys have been alive. But we started playing video games when we were little kids, and for me it was just like I missed the early adoption train on the crypto stuff, in spite of having some very very close ties with some early groups doing stuff, and so I felt a little bit behind, but also just really compelled by the tokenization of things. And I guess the joke for me is like, Joe and I always play video games growing up, and parents were like, oh, you're wasting your time, like it's not worth anything. And not only does there's plenty of studies that show that people like surgeons are like better surgeons because they play video games, but there's this massive franchise of games where people are paying for in-game upgrades and all kinds of things. And so kind of thinking about where could I be on the early adoption side of some part of crypto instead of just being an early adopter of crypto in general. I think that this was, to me, the crossroads that was really interesting, because it's there's a group of people out there that are literally already paying money to get an upgrade in Candy Crush, like play something, get some souped up armor in Fortnite, or me paying for packs in FIFA, and they're already essentially tokenized, and so we make that transition in small easy ways, and we take, like Joe said, the power of this decentralized fundraising and merge them together. And I think that that's, to me, a very cutting edge opportunity, and that's what we're excited about. And kind of that's kind of where I went from a person randomly plunking money in and hoping it would take off, to saying, hey, I want to pay the price of the education here and spend a lot of time and energy in developing this token, because I think, we could be on the forefront of something really big.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I haven't been in crypto for a long time. I bought some like Bitcoin and Ethereum a few years ago, and then I sold it, unfortunately, and I started getting into it more last year and like early last year as well. So I'm definitely with you on that. But it's definitely the future. The way we're moving. We just need to keep building projects, like strong projects with strong use cases that aren't here to rug pull, and there's no telling where we can go. Fiat will soon be beneath us, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I agree 100%.
Cool. All right. Next question I have is, what competitive advantages does FLPD have over other play-to-earn tokens?
Yeah. I think the difference between our token and other tokens is our team, and I think our experience, and the fact that a lot of the marketers we use are proven marketers. We've seen results from past projects, and we're using and leveraging a lot of those same relationships, and that way we're using our money expeditiously, so we're not wasting money on things that won't produce. And the other thing is our transparency. So similar to your project, we've been in some other questionable projects ourselves, just from how other people ran them. So we wanted to be as transparent as possible. And so, if there's something going on, we explain to the community, what we're seeing behind the scenes, and explaining things, so that there's really no surprises to them. And so I would say, the experience and the transparency, I think that's something that we can definitely leverage to differentiate ourselves.
Yeah, I would echo that, in the sense that I look at it slightly differently, in terms of there's competitive advantage against like today's tokens, right? Which I think is the way a lot of investors think about it. But I look at it more like, look, anybody can do play to earn. You mentioned the rug pull situation, and what Joe's mentioning with the competitive advantages actually does is, I think it increases survivability. And in the next couple years of crypto, and if you look at the past history of it, it's really not about the tokens that do something incredibly well. Like, yes, there's always the 1 in 1,000 that makes everyone $1 billion before the rug pull or whatever, but the majority of these tokens just don't survive. And it's because they don't have those fundamentals of good transparency, of communication, of a solid team, and of people that, frankly, just have some ethics and are going to see a project through. And I think that, to me, it's, really, we've set the foundation for a token that can survive the ups and downs, and, ultimately create that leads to higher market capture, leads to the types of partnerships that can grow into a metaverse and actually do some of these things sustainably. So it's not like this flash in the pan mentality with us. And I do think, like you said very appropriately, like, this is the next step that crypto has to take if it's going to, grow into its full power.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Transparency is everything. That's how I came into it. I don't know if you know, Michael and I aren't the original developers of DonkSwap. We took over. We are original whales of the project, but we took over for the original developers when they couldn't run it anymore in July. And from the start, we have just tried to be as transparent as possible. We bring everything to the community. We have our whale group, or we call it our high rollers group, all our top holders, and we make sure everyone has a fair say in what we're doing. And that's what it's all about. That's what will build the strong projects and the strong communities, and keep that organic growth, that word of mouth marketing going, is the transparency, the honesty, and then just the strong use cases in the background,
Yeah. Yep. It's all about word of mouth. I mean, it's really a ground and pound game. You just make relationships and you leverage those relationships, and I think that's what we're doing here. It's just, we see some synergies between how you guys look at projects, and obviously I think we're the same way.
Definitely. All Next question I have. Almost every investor holds their tokens for the short term without understanding the long-term value. How will you assure people that FLPD is worth holding for the long term? And what is your plan to increase the demand and scarcity?
Yep. So the way we've kind of structured, Flappy is a lot of the money we raised up front. Half of it went for liquidity. A quarter of it went to develop the game, and then the other quarter is for marketing, basically. So we've got a burn built into the token, so every buy and sell transaction has a burn. So that's going to increase the demand and scarcity just over the long term. From our standpoint, it's a play to earn game. So we're trying to build the ecosystem around people that are interested in Flappy as a game, as the characters and itself. So we're trying to build that brand. So we're thinking that'll work for more of a long-term positioning within our holders. So that's my take on it. Xander, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, and then I think to me the extension, if you look at like kind of a mid-range to longer range thing, it's like, again, I think you have to remind yourself as a crypto investor, people are thinking like, what's going to make me $1 million tomorrow? And like, that's that's the lottery ticket purchaser mentality. And I totally respect that because I feel like I missed that boat. So I wish I had that mentality about 5 years ago. But the other side of it is that you get these small populations of people that really enjoy something. I think our storyboard and the guys that are helping develop the game are really excited about that, and they're excited about growing the gameplay universe around it. And then I think because of the kind of play to earn mobile set that we're looking into, we capture the idea or the awareness that people that are playing in the Flappy universe want to do other games, and we've started expanding our partnerships and talks with some of the other people doing similar things, so that there is this flexibility, because crypto people like to stare at one thing for 2 minutes and then move on to the next thing, so that you're moving on to other stuff but your token stays the same. And I think that's part of what adds stickiness to Flappy and makes it hopefully possible for that stickiness to go on to our token holders too, and the people that are playing the game. So we're definitely operating with a mindset of how do we tackle that problem. And I do think it's a problem that everyone is trying to tackle in crypto, but certainly one that we started thinking of before we even launched the token.
All right, appreciate that answer. I have a question for you guys, and it's something we're working on right now ourselves. So marketing, I saw 3% of your allocation goes to marketing. Is that a sell of your token, or do you guys have other ways you're going to plan to market, and kind of what does that look like for you?
Yep. Yeah. So 3% goes to the marketing wallet. We haven't sold anything up to this point out of the marketing wallet. If we do any fundraising, it'll be private for the most part. Most of our goal is to raise the value of Flappy over the long term. So, dumping tokens on the open market's not really a good plan for that. So if we have any other need for investment, we'll just reach out to our whale group, our private investors, some of the relationships like with you guys and some others that we've recently come up with. We'll be able to use, maybe some staking rewards and that kind of stuff, and that'll help raise the profile of the token overall. But yeah, it'll generally be private for the most point, and then we'll make sure people lock those tokens for, as long as we need to negotiate for them to lock. So
yeah, and it's tough. I mean, people are so and the rug pull stuff is so common that the idea that like you're never going to sell tokens is it's kind of unrealistic. But at the same time, like we would never sell these tokens in a way that bottoms out the coin. So like Joe's saying, we either lock them in liquidity arrangements with partners. We take the idea that marketing is not just something like, okay, we're going to just write this check to this person. It's more like, what are some strategic marketing ways that don't cause us to, affect the price by taking Flappy, and dumping it out in the open market, but that allow us to make connections and relationships. And that's really the approach of it. And so in the same way that a company has potentially an account or an asset that they go get loans against or whatever, it's that same mentality of like, look, we don't want to devalue ourselves in the process of doing the marketing. So we're being very strategic about how that wallet gets used or what it's representing. But again, it would be complete suicide to just like dump that wallet out to go get some big YouTuber to do a talk for us, and that's just like praying for a miracle, and it's not how we're operating this at all.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. We haven't sold any of our token for any marketing development. We have, like I said, our high rollers group as well, just like you guys have your wells, and we've utilized them quite a bit for different purposes like marketing and development of the casino that's coming up next month. But yeah, that's not wise usually, in my opinion, personally, to sell your token, just for marketing. You gotta run your business a little bit better than that. You gotta figure out ways to raise the money, and if you have a strong project, you should be able to get people to invest that money. That's where you need.
Yeah,
just like you guys said.
And I should also point out, like, part of the things that I haven't seen other tokens do, and along the lines of transparency and communication, I mean, literally, I would envision if we were gonna sell some Flappy, it would be like, hey guys, look, like, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna use some of the stuff for marketing, but like, look at the price of FlappyDoge now and 6 weeks from now, and you won't even notice, right? Like, if we were to move a certain amount of token onto the market, the point is not that the marketing doesn't cost anything. It's that the price of Flappy grows and the game develops and things go in the right direction. And so I think it would be definitely incumbent on us to communicate that to the investors. And honestly, like, any investor realizes that you do have to spend some money to grow a project. So the ones that freak out and panic, like, frankly, we probably don't want them as long-term investors anyway. And, we're going to do our best to communicate that so that those people who need to be educated out of that group end up in the savvy investor group and say, man, these guys know what they're doing. So it wouldn't just be this like, man, I gotta watch the marketing wallet. It's like, man, if you're doing that on tokens, like, you're just asking for a rug pull. And so I think there's lots of ways to do this that don't require constant vigilance of team wallets, and again, hopefully the world shifts away from that anyway.
No, definitely. And as long as your project speaks for, like, keeps moving strong, you keep development going, you keep putting out what you say you're going to put out, you keep in your timelines, then it will speak for yourself, and the money will come in. You'll be able to find the funds you need to do what you need to grow your project. In my opinion, there's always investors who are looking for, a great opportunity to get in on the ground level of a project or a company. So yeah, all you got to do is build. And that's why we personally haven't invested in much marketing yet. We are getting ready to, but we haven't done much yet because we've been working on making sure our use cases are developed and ready to go and fully functional, And that's really what's going to drive our project and your project, because you need to make sure you cover your bases,
Yeah, no, we like, looking at your stuff that you guys have been working on, and the fact that you guys so far and will continue to say what you do and do what you say. And I think that's for us really appealing. And interestingly, for our interactions with Pink Sale and some of these other more established groups, like, that actually hasn't been the case in some of those. And so it's impressive to us that there's people who aren't necessarily first movers, but have a better code of conduct, ethos, morality, whatever you want to call it. And that's who we want to work with. So that's why we're excited for this partnership with you guys.
Yes, for sure. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the future. It's going to be great. My next question is about Launchpad. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and what benefits it gives to holders?
Yep. So it's kind of similar to how you guys are running your project, in that we're vetting any other games that we bring onto the system. So we're going to vet the teams. We're going to make sure they have the setup around how they're financing and they're spending around their marketing. And so we're doing a lot of that research in the background. The benefits to the holders, it's pretty simple. So in order to be on our Launchpad, you'll have to guarantee us a set of tokens, and that would be an allocation for the Flappy team. So for buybacks, for marketing, a lot of that will just be reinvested within the Flappy token. So that's generally the idea behind it. Pretty straightforward.
No, that's great. Yeah, you build a strong ecosystem of games that way. I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Michael has a question.
Oh yeah. I'm interested to learn about your plans for NFTs, kind of the timeline there, what those are going to look like. Do you have someone already set up to kind of to make those for you, or what's your plans there?
Yeah, so we've done one round of NFTs. So pre-launch, what we did is we set up an allocation of about 50 pre-sale NFTs. So if people bought the NFT, they got an allocation of our pre-sale tokens, and it was actually really successful. I wish we had kind of started it a little earlier, or maybe even just done our whole launch based on NFT sales. So we actually split between pink sale and NFT sales, and pink sale, of course, got their percentage of our token, which they immediately dumped on launch, which tried to hijack our launch. So that was not fun. But yeah, we basically set up a formula that pretty simple background. I forget what code it was written in, but basically when someone would purchase the NFT, it would generate 5 or 6 individual unique graphics and assign a rarity to it. So it wasn't necessarily a designer, but it was more of a combination of just basic graphics. So we haven't really moved much more in the NFT space. I think it's probably something we'll look at probably in March. So we'll, Narsun's, like I said, developing the games, but they've got a ton of developers on their team that we could probably leverage for that. The benefits in the NFTs, obviously, so you have the pre-sale tokens. If we do any other promotions around, the game specifically, and really the characters and that kind of stuff, the individual NFTs will be able to be leveraged for the gameplay. So different, like I said, characteristics of how that NFT was designed. But yeah, that's kind of the background on what we've already done and kind of what we're going to do in the future. We're just more focused on the game launch right now specifically.
Sweet. Yeah, no, that's a great segue into my next question is, when can we expect a sneak peek of your team testing out the FlappyDoge gameplay?
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit of that over the last week at the Saudi Leap event. We were there with Narsun Studios, and we were showing some of our game trailer actually at the event. Probably if we had a sneak peek, I would say it's gonna be later in March. We're trying to launch the game in the first quarter, so I would say look for it probably in the next couple months, month and a half or so. But we've already released some of the graphics and all that stuff from our side.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I'll check that out a little bit more in depth as well as soon as we wrap up here. I got an empty house, so I have time to actually work. All right, Michael, do you have any more questions? Anything that I didn't think of?
No, I think you guys covered pretty much everything. I'd like to open it up kind of to anybody who may have additional questions that they'd like answered. So if you have a question, go ahead.
Okay. And if there was anything that you guys think we didn't cover, then feel free to talk about it as well.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to the partnership, and we're obviously we're a close team with your team. So if there's any other questions that come up outside of today, we'll feel free to answer them for you guys. And I'm sure we'll be we'll be in I'm in your Telegram, and obviously people can just tag me if there's any questions on our side too.
Yeah,
So,
and you guys should be listed as admins as well, so people should know right away where you guys are coming from.
Awesome. Was there a question?
Yeah, so you guys are on Donk and on Pancake still?
We are. Yep, we are on those two. We've got a partnership with Baby Swap also, so we've got some liquidity there. So that's where the most liquidity is, on Pancake Swap right now.
Okay. I was just curious, are you going to keep moving, like spreading your liquidity out, or are you eventually going to hone in on a few?
Yeah, I think it's going to be limited strategically. So, I mean, we're not going to be everybody's best friend. It's more like, like Joe said, weren't super impressed with some of the, like I said, the major players, and we want to stay mindful of, people doing more cutting edge stuff. So I think it's a little bit of plan, do, study cycles, and taking some partnerships, seeing how they go, and then reassessing after a little bit and seeing if we do continue and add another one, or do you kind of double down on the ones that we have. So we're excited because we kind of have a partner that's obviously very highly developed and doesn't care that much about us, Pancake Swap, and then we have Donk Swap that's really getting up and running now, and then Baby Swap is kind of in between the two, and that's kind of how we've been strategically trying to assess where we want to be, and then kind of see what happens from there.
Sounds like a good strategy.
Yeah, and I know there's other strategies around, and our token, pays reflections, right? So every holder gets an increase of their tokens the longer they hold. So, this is other opportunities, for staking and kind of adding liquidity from that standpoint. We're definitely looking at those options, and that'll add liquidity for any site that we have the staking for. So another benefit.
Yeah, I'll add something. I come from a sales and marketing background, so customer service and customer experience is huge for me, and that comes all the way down to our partners. And my day job is business to business sales, so I really want to value our partners, and that's what I think will give us a leg up over some of our competitors, the Pancake Swap, who really they're not that old. They started September of 2020, so they're fairly new, and I think as long as we keep up our customer service and we keep building our partnership together and working together, we can get a leg up, and hopefully we will earn a lot more liquidity from you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll also get our mining platform, our staking platform, going up pretty soon too, so you guys can get your holders hopefully adding liquidity and build naturally as well.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the challenge, right? I mean, a lot of our money now is going for marketing, so none of us are taking any kind of payment out of Flappy. This is all just on our own time. So a lot of our BNB and BUSD, we use that for marketing purposes. So it's not like we can just go lock up liquidity, and lock up our BNB. So staking is probably our next option for that. But we'll just see how it happens. And obviously, when you guys are ready to start those discussions, just let us know.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have some updates a little towards the end of the call once everyone finishes up about our staking platform. But we'll leave it on you guys' court right now.
Sounds good. If there's any other questions, guys, go ahead. We're hanging around.
I think Michael was going to entice us with some extra bonus for buys or something. Wasn't that right, Mike?
Well, I have to look into that, yeah. But I mean, of course, we always want to promote our partner tokens, so we can definitely look at adding some DST when you buy some FlappyDoge for the next couple of days. I'll just figure out an amount and I'll post something shortly.
Yeah, definitely. We're running a pretty cool contest incentive for the next 2-3 days. So we're excited, obviously, for you guys and for the long-time Flappy guys that are listening. Spread the word. Obviously, we'd love for you guys to try out Donk Swap, and they're gonna sweeten the pot for you too. So just bear in mind, I think the next 2-3 days we're hoping people can see that there's a little bit of extra goodies out there for anyone that jumps on board, and that if you've listened to this at all, you've kind of realized the next few weeks are going to be pretty exciting for anyone holding Flappy. So I just want to kind of remind everybody that we do have that contest going on, and hopefully people use it as a jumping on board.
So with the liquidity on Donk, what's there was something about a max buy. You have to go to Pancake if you're gonna buy over a BNB or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of the challenge. The price impact is just too high right now on the Donk Swap exchange for anything above 1. So yeah, Pancake is where the overwhelming majority of liquidity is. So it kind of makes sense just to run it for any larger buys through Pancake. But yeah, anything above 5 BNB will get you a 30% bonus, and then below that 20% bonus, and then under 1 BNB is 10% bonus. So that's
okay.
That's the thing. It's a good deal. I'm going to personally take advantage of it myself. And I hope everybody else does too.
I'll definitely be taking advantage of one of them. I'm going to try and probably buy mine on Donk. So maybe I'll just do it in 2 buys or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and maybe, this is kind of where you guys are the experts. So we'll look to you for advice here. And maybe look at how we can increase that liquidity so the impact's not so high. And that's something maybe we can just chat offline. I don't know what the ideal liquidity would be, so that we don't just, raise the price 50% with like a 2 BNB buy.
Yeah, no, I have some ideas that I'll work on. Get you in contact with the right people to help you out with that. And then, like Paul said, I do think if you do multiple buys, we can put those together as part of the bonus. So that's not a problem. So if the impact, if 1 BNB is the max impact, we'll do 1 BNB. And if you want to do a second, do another transaction, and we'll add those together and put the bonus for that.
Yeah, I just figured instead, even if you're doing like 1 BNB buy and you split it in 2 0.5 buys, just so that the price impact doesn't go crazy. I mean, even with a 1 BNB, it's going to probably affect it pretty good.
Awesome. Well, good question. And we're not limiting, to one purchase per wallet. It's as many as you want. Doesn't really matter. We're just going to pull a report at the end of it, and it'll be like if you buy five or 10 times, it'll each one will get the bonus.
Yeah, you'll add them all up together, you mean? Or
yeah. We should be able to add them up. Just get an export in Excel and sort it that way. It shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, because we wouldn't. I personally, as a fairness person, if you bought 5 BNB and then you decide I want to buy another 0.5, I'm not going to ding you because you bought the 0.5 separate from the 5 when the total is 5.5. Like for us, it's, I would consider that a win, and certainly allows you to have the flexibility to give Donk Swap a try and still be kind of adding to the cumulative total. Because, our goal is to have people that, have enough of a stake in Flappy that it's not just like a trifle, so they're engaged too. So just a very reasonable approach to this.
Awesome. Any other questions?
No one be shy. Come on.
I guess I'll get my DST tokens if I buy on Donk Swap, right?
Yeah, we'll get
sure.
something going pretty soon here.
I'll put it together. Give me a little bit of time. We'll have something out in a couple hours. Aaron's got to put a video together and make it look nice.
Awesome, guys. Well, if there's no other questions, we really appreciate the time and everything and the discussion, and look forward to more of the partnership.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're looking forward to this too. And as for liquidity, we'll get it built up. We'll work with you guys on that. It won't be an issue. We don't have any thoughts that we won't be the top dog pretty soon. We will for sure, and I think everyone will be moving their liquidity to Donk Swap. But in the meantime, we'll get some natural growth hopefully going for you guys, and yeah, it'll be a great lucrative partnership.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. If there aren't any more questions for the FlappyDoge team, I will provide some updates on what we got going on, just a couple. Our staking platform, we have, I think, about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before we can launch the initial one, which will be earning DST, staking DST and BNB to earn DST. And after that is successfully up and going, we will be working on getting our partner mines running as well. We want to get the first one going and make sure it is foolproof, fully functioning, no issues, and then we'll tackle all the rest. Our casino timeline, we are looking good for March. We have been developing craps for the past few weeks, and it was taking a little bit longer than we expected. It maybe would take another week or two. So we moved some things around, and we're getting roulette and blackjack done now. Those are a lot easier to develop for the gaming company, and those should get us, I think, about 2 to 3 weeks each, and we will launch everything in March except craps. Craps will probably come in April, I would say. We're going to get that. We want to get the initial 4 games now with all the blockchain elements done, and then we'll get craps tackled. We just don't want to have any issues with it. the coding seems to be a lot harder. There's a lot more intricacies to it, and we don't want to launch craps and have any functionality issues and people losing money or anything. So we made the executive decisions to just move some things around. We're still going to get the casino launched in March, but craps will just be a little bit backlogged. The NFTs are moving along. As some of you may know, my cousin did the initial 5, the original donkeys that we will be minting to NFTs and launching pretty soon. I would say by the end of this month, I hope we should have those minted and ready. I think the next set of NFTs will be ready by the casino launch. We hopefully will have it ready a couple weeks before, but at least by casino launch, we'll have those ready to go. We're trying to give her the time and space. She's an artist, obviously, so we're giving her the time and space to really let her artistic abilities flow, so to speak. So we'll get those going soon. If we have to maybe mint and launch a few early, just some sneak peek ones. Maybe those will be the exclusive NFTs. We will, but we'll get the full line going by casino launch, hopefully. This week will be very busy for Michael and I. We have meetings, I think, every day with potential partners. Tomorrow we have a major partnership meeting. I'm not going to say who it is, but they reached out to us. We didn't find them. They came to us. They are hoping to bring us on as a partner. And if this goes well, this could probably save us the trouble of doing some major marketing and putting a lot of major funds towards marketing. We can maybe put some more towards development. Either way, following that meeting, we have one with a celebrity influencer with 800K following on Twitter, and we're hoping to secure that in the meantime and get some marketing going for this month leading up to the casino launch. He is also interested in maybe a long-term partnership, but we haven't discussed pricing yet, so we just need to see what the rates will be. But we will discuss with him tomorrow following the major meeting that we have in the morning. And yeah, so we should be finalizing some marketing partners by the end of this month. We have a few more projects that we should be getting listed. We hopefully will have another exclusive listing done within a week, but they're working on their contract still. But other than that, we should hopefully get towards 20 new projects listed by casino launch, I would say. We're working really hard on that. We're getting more projects coming knocking on our doors rather than us having to reach out to them. And that's really all it's about. People are seeing what we're doing and believing in us, so to speak. Michael, did I miss anything? You want to cover anything?
No, I don't think so. I think you covered everything pretty well. Does anybody have any questions about that or anything that you don't think we mentioned that we could talk about?
Yeah, may I ask some questions?
Yes, of course.
I just wondering that staking pool is just for your token or another tokens can use that platform too?
Yeah, so I'll take
my
it.
bad.
So yeah, we're developing a full-on staking platform. The initial one will start with DST BNB so we can build our project liquidity. But we'll add partners as we go. And then pretty soon here, we're going to be minting a second token, an inflationary token that'll be part for the mining platform. And then DST will pretty much be for the casino side of it. So that way, some people like to gamble and some people may not. And some people may just want to do the mining part of it. So there's options there, but the tokens will still work together, but they'll be kind of designed for each separate platform.
Yes, and I'll piggyback. The staking platform as well as the casino will play host to tokens that are listed on DonkSwap. So if you aren't listed on DonkSwap, we won't be able to list you on our staking platform. If you want to list with us, but liquidity is an issue, we have minimum amounts we can discuss, and then we can work with you on building it up organically, maybe having our holders add liquidity by staking for a DST or new inflationary token. That will be coming within a few months. But yeah, if you're interested, if you run a project, let us know. Let's talk on the side and see what we can do.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you very much for your answers, guys.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody attending and for the questions. And if you do have anything else, you can always message us in the group or privately.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It was a decent turnout. We're going to continue to work on locking down the prime times to host our AMAs and just any video chats that we have. But we do appreciate everyone who joined. Like Michael said, we'll get this up on our YouTube soon. And if you join, go on there and like and subscribe once the video is up on YouTube. We really appreciate all that. That helps. And yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. If it's already Monday for some of you, have a great week, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. And get your FlappyDoge. Make sure you participate in that contest. You're going to definitely benefit from it long term. And once the game is fully out, it's going to be fun for everyone, and you get to earn some more.
Absolutely. Thanks again. You guys have a good one.
Thank you, guys. You too.